welcome to today's discussion as we start embarking on, I guess I should tell you my name. My name is Cassandra Bright, and I am a psychic, medium, telepathic who has been studying Napoleon Hill, who can communicate with Napoleon Hill. So just to let you know a little bit about Napoleon Hill, is his coach was Andrew Carnegie, you know, like the Carnegie Hall. They were both Andrew and Napoleon were awesome human beings. And that's what you really want to get when you think about Think and Grow Rich, is that they were out to create positivity within themselves, which then expanded out to other people to also create positivity for others. So money was the byproduct of their success, as in their success in being a human being. As we embark on a new adventure with the internet, we have seen the evolution and the deterioration of the work by the information that's being given by social media influencers, the Democratic Party, and social media. Just to be and celebrities and media in general. To be very clear, I will not be discussing any of those things. I will solely be discussing Think and Grow Rich, and as information comes to me, I'll be utilizing spiritual forces to advance the education attached to the Think and Grow Rich works of Napoleon Hill. Okay, so just a little bit about Napoleon Hill. He used to actually work for the White House, and he wrote this book, Think and Grow Rich, while he was working in the White House, while it was the most toxic time in his experience working for the government. It's kind of interesting considering where we are in society with our own government. He stated there were 3 reasons that people fail. They have low standards of themselves with the ideas of money, meaning you don't have a lot of money, so it holds you back from feeling like you can be successful. Education, meaning you don't have a doctorate, or your age, meaning you don't have the experience. My own additive is fear is also what's holding you back. And especially in this day and age of fear of what other people think of you, or the fear of reacting when someone does say something, because they're always thinking something about you. What you want to remember is what the mind can perceive, you can achieve in a positive affirmation sense, lifting and rising yourself above all the atrocities in the world. Positivity attracts positivity. No matter how many times you consider yourself a failure, which is all an assumption of who you think you are, based on the way external views or values are of you, you want to know that what your mind can perceive, you can achieve. It all has to do with your applied faith and your ability and willingness to be willing. The power to direct the mind to the place that you want to go is the power to be greater than poverty. So even if you have what you think to be the most supportive team around you, because of their own insecurities, because of the maliciousness of others, they will always try to stop you from becoming the dream of your dream, even though they say to your face, they want you to reach your dream. That's especially in what we're dealing with in society at this time. It's like the normal way of acting, which is why you have to empower yourself to move through that energy. It's the energy you're battling. The only thing you have total control over is your mindset, the power of your thinking. So everyone always tells you to have a positive mindset, but they never really tell you how to get a positive mindset. They just tell you to have a positive mindset and then act as if that's going to advance you in your successes, and that's just not how it works. Excuse me. When I do that, that means there's evil entering into the space, and they do not want me to communicate these words to you, because upon communicating these words to you, you actually start to think that you can be successful, and that is what they are trying to stop all of us from feeling, which is why you feel so awful all the time. You want to have a clear picture of where your goals are. A clear picture. We talked about this in my last video, where when you don't have a clear picture, your first step is getting curious and starting to get to know yourself. However, the moment you step on this planet, you start to create things that you're attracted to, in the sense of toys you like, things you like to talk about. It's your first step in getting creative into curiosity. And then when you see something you're curious about, you investigate it a little bit, and then you either continue on that path or you go to something else. There's the couple sides to that, which is the constant mover who just constantly is learning. It can set you on which is what I am actually. It can actually set you on a trajectory of confusion if you're not grounded in something of purpose, or it can bring you into an awareness game of the multitude of information as the constant learner. So once you find your clear picture, you find your grounding in it, you practice in it, you set a goal with it, everyone comes with the privilege of being able to accomplish what you conceive you will achieve. They have the capability, though, that's the key. When you add in manipulation and toxicity into the equation, then we know that that's a hisma. It's not a hisma. So a hisma is non-violence. So they are operating on a demonic path. Okay, so there's the laws of nature, which we're not going to talk about, but just for you to be in the awareness game, that some people can manipulate their way into or be born into. So there's a lot of different levels to this, but we're trying to focus on someone who has a sound, sane mind. Because what will happen as I'm speaking is the insane mind will step into the space and say, see, I did it. Yeah, well, they did it by manipulating the masses into believing lies about who they are. Because anyone can paint a picture, however, the substance attached to it is poop. Okay, you come here with 2 sealed envelopes. Riches you enjoy if you take control of the mind. Blessings are sound health, peace of mind, labor of love, no fear or worry. Positive mental intentions and material desires, which are attached to modesty also. So there's a lot of luxury out there that you see all over the place of people wanting big 70,000 square feet homes and all that thing. We're talking logics here. That's obscene amounts of money. It makes you wonder what goes through the minds of someone who has obscene amount of money when they look at someone on the street who is starving and they walk right by them and they never give them a dime. However, they claim that they're out as a philanthropist. The penalties if you neglect not taking control of your mind are ill health, fear and worry, doubt, frustration, poverty, evil greed, envy, superstition, and jealousy. So let's take a look at it from a different perspective as in non-tangible. So whether you have $1 million or you have $1, if you don't have control of your mind, you are going to experience a hell on earth experience of worry, doubt, frustration, poverty, poorness in your self-worth, in your desires, in filling yourself up with happiness and joy, which is really one of the main reasons why we're here. And the same thing for the person with $1 in their bank account, right? If they feed the mind of the person who has millions of dollars, all the toxicity that they spew at them, they don't have control over the mind. So they are also living in a negative, penalty-driven society of a mind, because you create your own reality. So when we talk about the riches, we don't talk about money status or tangible items. We're specifically speaking to emotional intelligence, the awareness game of life, worry and doubt, fear, peace of mind, labor of love. It's like, which person do you want to be? Who do you get to be if you are living in blessings as a way of being? Who do you get to be if you live from evil greed? Who do you get to be if you're a paper chaser and a trophy wife chaser? So the whole idea of Think and Grow Rich is to separate yourself away from those people who live in penalties. You want to separate yourself from people who live in a penalty-driven society, which is an abundance of humans at this time. Anyone on the internet who has a large amount of followers is living from that space, not to mention the people that are following them based on the utilization of the tactics I'm describing with manipulation attacked. Which is why this is an empowering conversation for you to separate yourself from them and take control of your mind again. Because oftentimes what happens is when we're feeling sad, we look for someone else to fill our holes. Who's going to fill this hole? 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 How much money is going to take to fill this hole? How much money or what kind of outfit am I going to buy to fill this hole? If you took away all their money, which is how you can really decide if someone is a rich person, you're going to look at them and you're going to be really shocked at how horrific of an existence they actually live in currently with all that money. Money does not buy happiness. It just makes things to a certain perspective a little bit easier. If you want to really have some success, you're going to have a clear vision. You're going to know what riches really are. And you're going to set your goal, and it's going to be attached to your definite purpose. You're going to have a pocket-sized notebook where you have a clear description of willingness to access your idea of success. You create all this. This is how powerful human is that you're able to create your own reality. What you can achieve, what you can perceive, you can achieve. What is riches? Sound health, peace of mind, labor of love, no fear or worry, positive mental attitude, and your materials that you desire. Riches, that's what the 17 laws of success are. That is what success is in real time, because that will bring the financial gain that everyone solely focuses on. That's the first thing you write down, is a clear description of what you're willing to access of your idea of success. So what's the clear description that you're willing to write down, willing to do? What's the idea of your success? It doesn't have to be a lot, because you want to read it and you want to read it often. And then you want to have, what in return are you going to give for that thing? So you always give you give and you receive. Give and receive. Notice how this is also energy exchange. Give and receive, give and receive, give and receive. That means if they're giving and they're toxic, you're receiving toxic, you're giving back toxic, unless you have a capacity to think for yourself and learn the practices of Think and Grow Rich. Your personal mental attitude must, let's see, hold on, I'm just reading my little notes here. Oh yeah, your state of mind must be read by methods of own choices, operations of own willpower, based on motives of your own adoption. In the many suggestions that are offered, one may take the sanction of his own mind and create the habit into a positive mental attitude. Positive mental attitude, the state of mind must read by methods of own choice. You must choose the methods that you take. It means you have to be in self-discovery. You cannot have someone tell you what you need to, you can't be coached on it. I mean, you can be coached on it, but you're going to be looking at external sources and you haven't reached your state of success because it's called self-awareness. Besides, one way with this person doesn't always work with that. This person dealing with this thing doesn't mean that thing. Does that make sense? You must do the work, which is your willpower and your applied faith. What are your motives that you put upon yourself, whether it be self-centeredness, which is always you always have to have something in it for you, but the awareness game of for others, of the be of service, which is the give and receive. There's many suggestions in this that's offered, meaning it becomes an exploration of it's really just this is why you're here. It's like your exploration of yourself. It's like, what the hell else are you here for? This is it. Sanctions of his own mind. What does it mean to put sanctions on some other country? Is you put a price tag on another country. You owe us money. Sanctions on your own mind. It's a little of restoring integrity, I see. It's a little bit about responsibility taking. So it's basically taking responsibility of your own mind, having the awareness game in association with your own mind, and then you have to create the habit into a positive mental attitude. So it's weaving in and out of the processes for, okay, you're born here with like the good wolf and the bad wolf. The ears of the good and the bad are always talking to you. Remember I talked to you about the spirit guides. There's bad ones and there's good ones. And the job of the Think and Grow Rich team is to focus on the good minds to battle the bad. It's a pretty powerful experience to realize that you also have spirits around you that are not good. However, we all just assume that we always have good, we're surrounded by good, and that's just not the truth. You can give yourself an example of a donut. Donut hole. A lot of people look at the donut hole and they see nothing. A person with a positive mental attitude sees the hole, but also sees the donut around it and know that it's a sugary sweet treat of joy. I don't really like to use that sugary sweet as the reward because that's a drug. But you want to be grounded in your purpose as an association for applied faith. Your purpose is activated by your burning desire. You have to really want it for yourself. It's the work. Nobody can want it for you, is what they often say. You have to want it. So it's a feeling of wanting something and then seeing the clear view at the end with the goal in mind, with your purpose, your definite purpose as the travel phase. And then knowing as you fail, those are the seeds of, what is it? Adequate benefit. So you fail, you see the seed, which is your lesson, and then you continue on the path that's been shifted. As your ultimate goal is your book, it might not be this book. You might have failed on this book, but it'll come to you in this book. And that's the will to keep moving. So we got the purpose, your burning desire, your applied desire becomes your applied faith. All the while you're getting curious, you're getting educated because you're the forever learner. And everyone has this. However, some people take the fast road to success and never learn anything, and they're the ones listening to the demons. So they've already lost the game. That's the game of life. I'm telling you, the purpose and the game of life right now is to listen to the good words, to the good wolf, to the good voices. It becomes an empowering experience of yourself when you can distinguish between the two by being grounded in your definite purpose. That could be joy, peace, happiness, love. Oftentimes people get masked thinking that God wants them to have $1 million. That is not what God wants for you. That is the bonus byproduct for being a happy, good person. Because if you have $1 million and you haven't done any of this work, you are a toxic person who abuses people. And eventually people sniff it out, and karma is real. Karma is real. However, the people that stand on their podiums will act as if they're living in good karma. However, they're the prime example of what bad karma is coming for them. So just because you're seeing someone in a state of what you think is empowerment, they have definitely lost this game. And they're too far in to do anything about it, which is the funny part. Because you get to stand back and laugh. Remember, that's one of the ways that you get to, what's that thing we did yesterday? Keep your mindset in a positive mental attitude, because that's their problem. They chose their route and they're going to have to live with the consequences. That's why you block them from your space. That's another key point when you're thinking of growing rich, is you don't want to surround yourself with the negative people. Hope is the unobtained things, the burning desire. So hope is like a fantasy. There's not really a lot of solidarity in hope, but it's really good to have it. Like, not as a human, because people who are named Hope think that they're so angelic, which honestly, it's an all air name and there's nothing grounded in that word. It's pie in the sky. However, it's a good, forceful softening of your burning desire. You see how it's like almost like a yoga practice where you add in the air, the water, the earth, and the space. Adding in hope when you're dealing with burning desire can soften it to where you can have an enjoyment of the process to some extent. Only leaders obtain positive results with personal mental attitude. This is very key. Only leaders obtain positive results with positive mental attitude. Meaning a leader with a positive mental attitude has created success in their own selves, and they've obtained positive results that advance not only themselves, but everybody around them. Meaning you don't become successful alone. Only leaders obtain positive results. Meaning if you've become some sort of leader and you're a whore, you're not a leader, you're a dictator, or you're a sociopath. Queen on a throne, and not the good kind. Every castle who's had a queen that has been atrocious goes down. You never want to go to prayer during difficulty. So this game of life, you're always in the workings of it. They're always coming after you. You got the good wolf and the bad wolf. Sorry, this is the bad one. The good one, the bad one. They're always telling you you're not enough, you're not enough, you're not enough, you're not enough. It's like a game, it's the game for them. They love it, they love it, they love it, they love it. Then you've got this one over here, and this one over here, and this one over here, also dealing with their wolves. Which one will they feed? Which one will you feed? How much of their energy are you willing to take on into your own space? This is empowering yourself and also dealing with how you've taken on the idea of abuse. There's also a responsibility level when discussing abuse. You need to take responsibility on your willingness to be abused. You don't want to pray when things are bad. You want to condition the mind to always be prepared when things go awry by always being in a positive mental attitude. Always be in a positive mental attitude. So that means when something bad's happening, you're going to yourself, well, I know that this is happening for a reason. What lesson do I need to learn? And the more that you practice as a vicious circle of your positive mental attitude, you will always go to that place of, I know this is happening for a reason. I'm very aware of this. What is it in this that I need to learn? This will also allow you to create a strategy to get yourself out of it or through it. You move through it. And sometimes you'll actually feel like what'll happen as you evolve in your spirituality is you'll have a vibrational experience of yourself. This will happen often when you start meeting people that are up to good stuff and up to toxic stuff, right? Your vibration is a physical, but it's a mental too. It's a state of mind, and it's a release of conditioning prior to any interview. So if you're in sales, you can already set the frequency of thought into a positive space. Now, this is very important because the other person also has a vibrational frequency and can sniff out your bull. It might be after 10 minutes, it might be after 30, but they will figure it out because the good, only leaders obtain positive results with positive mental attitudes. And we've already discussed with you that, what was the other thing that I said? I said something. Let me see. What was it that I said? I forget. Hold on. Oh yeah, we embody it. And you cannot teach someone this stuff. They have to embody it. You have to embody the experience. So I want to just kind of go back into the vibrational thought. So everything has a frequency. It's all energy. So that means every thought has a frequency. It's a telepathic connection. When you meet someone, you're experiencing a vibrational frequency. So if you're in a positive mental attitude, you're going to be vibrating out a certain frequency, and then someone else may be at a negative mental frequency, and they're going to be vibrating a certain way. Now, what the negative person's going to want to do is they're going to want to plug into your positivity, steal your energy, and then run off with it, and that's called an energy vampire. So part of this too is figuring out a way to keep them over there and you over here, because it'll feel like a little bit like a grab. Hey! Too open. Too open. You can't be so open in this day and age. You just can't. That means you need to learn how to lead a space. You're in charge because you have the positive mental attitude. And you ain't taking none of this. This belongs to me. You go figure your own stuff out. I ain't no empath. I ain't no empath. You do you and I'll do me. That's exactly what that means. It ain't my problem that you're over there at the table and those girls are being mean to you. That's your problem. You handle it. We don't want no knight in shining armors for the evil. However, that's what the evil does in the seduction game of whatever we're dealing with here. Because the men really enjoy being the heroes. But you're being the heroes to the wrong ones, I can tell you that much. What it does for that is it creates them to feel empowered to be abusive to other people and expand it out even more. So what we're dealing with here is the horrors of the internet and how it's violating our civil rights for the money gains of the already rich. And we're heading into a season where they're going to be rubbing elbows with each other and masterminding new bull stuff that we have to deal with. And this isn't just specifically to me, although I'm holding the space for it. This is for everybody. Meaning these will be the worst months of your life. You will not enjoy your family. You will not enjoy your children. You will not enjoy the holidays unless you start creating a personal mental, a positive mental attitude and learning how to separate yourself from the ones that are negative. That's why a morning huddle, when you do your morning huddle, is actually an important way to start your day, especially if you're in sales, because you'll be able to create a synergy in the group and the team to feel solid in your organization for whatever comes your way throughout the day. Not a manipulation meeting. It's like a what so meeting though. Like in dentistry, we're not manipulating, we're looking for ways that we can assist people. So for example, Jon Snow needs a crown on 2, a crown on 3, a crown on 6, a crown on 8. Why isn't he getting this work done? Finances? Okay, well I know it's finances, so now I'm going to talk to him and see if we at least can't get number 7 done and see where he's at in the decay. Because if he waits too long, he's going to end up paying a lot more money than what he's going to be paying with it the way it is now. So you also want to help them see the benefits of their equivalent to benefit. So this is like you assisting someone else with one of their crises in life. And sometimes it's just a perspective shift for something that you can see that somebody else can't see. So that's a be of service. However, you let them choose. You let them have their own mind conditioning. And then if they don't want to accept it, then you say, thank you for coming. Your problem, not mine. However, you don't say your problem, not mine. If they're a good person, you just let it go. That's what letting go means. Not letting it go when someone's abusive to you, like Frozen likes to teach us. Let it go, let it go, let it go. I ain't gonna let it go when that one over there is just malicious and evil, and she's malicious and evil to everybody. That's why we're in this mess. You can thank Frozen and Disney for how they've trained the minds of the young female to be abusive to the men, to be abusive to other females. Great job, Disney. It's all subconscious. You definitely want to take a look at who made that movie. Because what some of you might be realizing now is that you're experiencing movies a certain way because their real vibration is coming through the screen. Meaning, let's just say, I'm going to use Tom as an example. Ownership, like they'll be co-starring in a movie with Tom, and they feel like a certain status now about co-starring with Tom. Now, Tom is one of the most humble actors that is on screen because he's been through a lot in Hollywood because he's been abused. So he's also into this work that I'm teaching but he also had to deal with a lot. And he protects his followers and fans a lot of the time from these people. However, sometimes, especially for me, since I'm more psychically inclined, I can watch the movie and I can see what they're actually portraying on screen in relationship to Tom, which is being portrayed out at you as a subconscious. So that's why your positive mental attitude, as in strength, and not taking on someone else's energy, as in their negative, is an extremely important practice at this time to control your own mind. Because one little tap in hit can be the death of you. And that's like understatement. It could be a slow, painful death too. Hey, Michael Landon. He's so sweet. Another example is lawyers, doctors. If they have a positive mental attitude, they will actually progress you into a healthier life. So let's say that you are diagnosed with cancer and your doctor is really negative. Then you're going to take on that negativity as he tells you that you have cancer and that you have 4 months to live. How do you know? Because in the movies, they told you to ask how long you have to live. There's nothing that you can do for him. Okay, great. But I'm going to try holistic outlets is what I'm going to do. So I'll see you later. And I do believe that there's coffee enemas, diet, yoga practice, and sonograph, as in breaking up the particle of the cancer, ultrasonic, cleaning it, sound waves. It's like an ultrasonic with dental. But there has to be also a mental, like you have to go from negative to positive. The reason you have cancer is because of your externals, but also because of your mental. You're around cancer people that are cancers, who try to make you feel bad about everything you do. And you take that as if that belongs to you, and that's how you get cancer. So when you watch a movie where someone's dying of cancer, you likely take on some of those cellular cancer emotions, which is really sad. And that's what Hollywood does to you, so they can create more money from Big Pharma. And chemotherapy is no good. It's poison. It's the reason why most people die from cancer. Radiation, probably the same thing. However, that's the way that we scientifically discovered it, but it's all opinion. And then it became central intelligence. Sit with that for a minute. Okay, moving on. The subconscious is constructed in PMA. When I say PMA, that's positive mental attitude. So even, it's really interesting because it needs to be PMA, as in you know what it means. And that is happening for me at this time, because what the bad wolf is telling me is I don't know what PMA means. It is positive mental attitude. You want to embody it as if you own it and it belongs to you. And it does. How else would I have made it this far? Hope, applied faith, extreme desire, God, lots of different things. All these things. Purpose, definite purpose. Faith followed by action. So you have to actually act. Meaning there's been lots of times where I could have stopped producing content. However, I continuously every day get up. Continuously every day get up. Produce more content. Remind myself of all the information that I've learned. And this is only like a little smidget of the stuff that I've learned. There's like so much information. Not to mention, I haven't even started into the fitness industry on what I know about supplements, essential oils, spin, yoga as a practice. I'm literally have been in inquiry and developing the constructive models of discussion to awaken you to the fact that you can condition your mind to think positive. The first part actually was uncovering and pulling up from the bottom the truths to show you. And really kind of being in inquiry around it. So curiosity too. Let's see. You want to make look around at your daily environments and see how much joy you get from that. Let's see. Napoleon has done 3,000 mottos. 3,000, y'all. You can do it if you believe you can. You should even just try saying that in the mirror to yourself, because these are good affirmations too. You can do it if you believe you can. I can do it. I believe I can. I can do it. I believe I can. I can do it. I believe I can. And you say it over and over and over and over. You might feel the doubts seep in, and that is the negative mind attitude. The negative mental attitude is what that is. That is that's the bad wolf. Negative mental attitude, NMA. But we want to focus on the positive mental attitude. So I can do it. I believe I can. Do more than you are paid for, and soon you will be paid for more than you will do. That's going the extra mile. No expectation of anything in return, because as you grow in your business, you're going to be teaching. What? You're going to be. So right now I'm being clouded. But I still got a positive mental attitude, right? I don't give a crap. We'll just wait for this foggy brain to come through, because I don't want me to do more than you are paid for, and soon you will be paid for more than you will do. So basically, this is what I'm going. I've been paid no money from the day I started doing this work, with the knowing intention that someone's going to pick this up and take me to the point where I do get paid. And I don't care if I get paid whatever I get paid, but I want to make a comfortable living, which is what I've stated from the very beginning. Positive mental attitude. Because I don't value money like you value money. I just know that it gets food and shelter, and it feels good to buy a Athleta shirt sometimes. I like this painting my sister gave me. I think my sister gave me that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't need a whole lot. This is a used chair. I love this chair. So when you focus solely on money, you are very limited, and it's very unsuccessful. But you also set your own limitations. So by doing more than you are paid for, you're actually doing a paid internship. And it will benefit you in the end. However, most people don't view it like that these days, because it's all such a money-focused society. The tone of your voice, speak louder than your words, speak pleasingly. That's really not necessarily even your voice. I would say a lot of it is your energy attached to the voice. So I'm going to try to push out this. Like, the demons are really strong. And I always say that, but I'm really dealing with a lot of energy to push away. It's being joyful in your discussion. I'm like really enthusiastic about this. This is fun. I really like talking about and helping people obtain positive results with positive mental attitude. It's really fun. You know, I have to imagine myself sitting next to Gary Vaynerchuk in large group settings where I'm just sitting in a chair next to him while he's doing his thing. And then all of a sudden, I say, excuse me, I need to add something. And he say, what? And then I'll get up and I'll start talking that la 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 la. So I think when Gary and I start speaking together, it's going to have to be at least 4-hour conferences. It'll be really fun though. It's going to be a lot of fun. Not only that, we're going to have group exercises in the audience to grow you as human beings. And then we probably will do weekend immersions where we create content on the internet and we give you assignments overnight where you and your mastermind group, it's gonna be super fun. I get so excited when I think about it. We'll create content and it won't be a chore. It'll be fun. And you'll be like, like kind of like a Baptiste yoga immersion. I'm going to tell you all about how to sign up for Baptiste, how to sign up for Landmark. It's going to be a community effort of just a plethora of good knowledge. There's already some really great ones out there, but it's going to bring in a lot of people to come together who are out for the same thing. So you're always going to be the learner, and it's always going to be new, and it's always going to be exciting. It's not always going to be fun, because sometimes you're going to actually have to take a look at your stuff, but at least you're going to know and be aware that it is stuff, and you can work through it because you have a definite purpose. You have a goal, you're clear on it. You know your failures and your lessons, and it really becomes an empowering experience. It's the be in discovery. Be in discovery, which also means, be in discovery, I think, is more of a forward moving. Like when I look at it, be in discovery is movement forward, discovery. And curiosity oftentimes means looking. So I like to do this. It's called the over, the under. And each individual time I explain something in an energy frequency, it might be different. So it's not one way with that. It's like a psychic thing. So being in discovery to me is like you're an adventurer. Doing and being curious at the same time. Curiosity is like looking through a book, ideas, that kind of thing. The negative mind only spins negative ideas. We'll even work through stuff like that. And sometimes negative means you're dealing with something. So not everybody who's negative is negative. It's a learned behavior with good intentions, but they're negative. Like there's some people that are good people who have been just dealt a really bad hand. It's like nothing's ever going to work out for me. Well, I was listening, like this is the game. I can't believe you posted that. What do I need to learn from it? That's how you know the difference. What the heck do I need? What? It's all perspective. Well, what was your intention behind the post? Did a demon, because I did a video once where I was side jumping, I forgot what they're called, ski jumps. And I like blew a fart out my butt when I jumped to the right and jumped to the left. My intention behind it was to say that when you eat broccoli, you get gas. See how awesome that is? However, y'all didn't see it like that. Y'all thought I was being vulgar and stupid. I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Because this is a fact. This is a scientific fact. And so y'all all went off on me about it. It's like, hello? So do you get that negative, like in certain cases, negative content is perspective? Then you're dealing with the judgment of others. However, if the intention behind the video was for me to be vulgar to you to make you uncomfortable, then that is absolutely negative mind only spins negative content or negative ideas. So that's actually a really good example of being multi-dimensional. Like it's really perfect. So again, the bonus of that video, and every video I ever posted, whatever you felt about it, there's a purpose behind the video because God did it. And me and God like to laugh when we fart, so I don't know what your problem is. And just to let you know, that if you, I learned this from a doctor. This is a really good one. It makes total sense that if you hold your gas in, if you hold your fart in, flatulence, if you prefer me to say flatulence. If you hold your flatulence in, you will have a bigger belly. Makes sense, because you have your intestines, and if it's holding air, your gut is going to expand, which is what bloating is that you have flatulence. So anybody that's showing you a video of themselves with a bloated belly means that they have to fart, and that's just a fact. For them, they would be embarrassed by that. However, for me, it's human nature to pass gas, and it's funny when someone farts in appropriate situations. When you're at home alone and they don't do it all the time, they do it to be funny. Pull my finger. Oh gosh, okay. I think I might have to do another video, like a different one, because I'm already at 50 minutes. Okay. Let me do one more. I might do an hour on this. Okay, the use made in his time determines the space he occupies in the world. The use made in his time determines the space he occupies in the world. So if you spend your whole day getting makeup and hair done, what does that tell you? You ain't doing nothing for nobody. You don't even work out. There is no movement and energy at all. It's all self-centered. It just blows my mind how this whole sequencing of events is occurring and no one's saying anything. It's bizarre. It's really bizarre, y'all. Especially coming from somebody who is a normal human being, who lives in a normal home, who had a normal job, who enjoys human companionship. And to see what I'm seeing, to watch what these people do all day long, and they're willing to share it with you, and then they act like it's a privilege. No thanks. I'd rather actually go and rake the yard and pull weeds, make content, assist you in your education, spin on the spin bike, go outside in nature, take my kids to the park, go to seminars where I hang out with thousands of people and help them see clear goals. That's what I want to do. That's where I'm headed. That's why I make all this content for free. Gary said, choose one. And so guess who I chose? I chose him. That's why I tag him in everything. That's why we're at where we're at. That's why we have expanded the earth to where we're at now, to where you can have your own thoughts. The time spent in silent thought creates a time spent in sound ideas. That means if you're meditating to music, that's not silence. That is mumbo jumbo of monkey mind, creating vicious, violent actions for others. That is a Joe Dispenza meditation practice, and he is a horror. He is not a yoga teacher, nor does he have any background. He worships Ramtha, which is an evil, bad wolf pretending to be a good wolf. And so anyone who has stated his name, been to his seminars, you better watch out. He's a chiropractor, and not a very good one either. He's the type of guy who would ride his cycle bike to the point where he would break his neck. So you really want to get the truth behind that story on how he broke his neck and then defied the odds by saying that he was going to walk again. He sold his soul is what he did. Because once again, if you can conceive it, you believe it, right? But it's the voice that you're listening to. Well, if you do this evil bidding for me, I'll let you walk again. You know? For those of you who are in a wheelchair, if you can imagine within silence, I would study a x-ray of your own x-ray. And then I would imagine your back healing. Okay, your back is healing. You might feel a little tingling. If it's a neck thing, you imagine your neck healing. Right? The thoracic spine. Yes, I was an x-ray tech. Lumbar spine. coccyx, all the way down. I forget what the other one is. Sacrum, coccyx, cervical, got the neck, right? Then you have to do that on a regular basis. You'd look at it, you would feel it, if you walked in the past, you remember what it's like to memory. I remember what it's like to do that. 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 I remember. And then you mentally can do it. You may not see it, but you can feel it. And then all of a sudden, you get a nurse to assist you. I would get a nurse. I would not get a family member. This is like actually creating a new job for somebody. To assist people in doing physical activity. All you do all day long is assist people in wheelchairs or who are looking to walk, I just got a head hit from somewhere. It might be your practitioner. Because this is like, you have to have a person who really cares about getting you to walk, because this shit is like, you gotta be patient. You dumbass. Fired. As you have a positive mental attitude. You get what I'm saying? So it's probably gonna be a guy who's gonna lead this on the way. Where was I? Oh yeah, then you're gonna do the yoga practice exercises. So specifically speaking, you're gonna teach Baptiste yoga philosophies, but with the Warrior One pose, even if you're in a wheelchair, you're going to put them in those poses. You're gonna put them in those poses. You're gonna put them in those poses. You're gonna hold the arms up. Even if it's like this. Even if it's like this. Even if it's like this. It doesn't matter the shape they are. You do the shape of how the shape of their body is. And that's that. And then we just see how it goes. That's what God said. So the thing about that is that it's all these things. It's the positive mental attitude, the willingness, the applied faith, the continuous movement forward. It's, what's the other thing? Oh, it's the work. Yeah, put the work in. A man is no longer bigger than his circumstances, which he allows to worry him. A man is no bigger than his circumstances, which he allows to worry him. So if you worry all the time about something, then you're playing it small. Don't worry, be happy. He's a good guy too, by the way. Now, the way he died is a lie. The way he died was a lie. He was Hollywood, did that. A man is no longer bigger than his circumstances, which he allows to worry him. That's like staying low on the totem pole and missing out on a lot of opportunity for personal expansion and the worrying actually blocks you from those beautiful ideas that you have hidden inside you. And it's a strategy. It's a strategy against the demons, but it's also a strategy for creative culture. And that goes for each individual. So imagine if there's 800 people and they all have worries, then that's what the business operates from, is the worry, not the, or the circumstances. It's not from the solutions or the expansion of each individual, which is actually really empowering. And then it opens up the Pandora's box of ideas, right? A closed mind stumbles over the blessings of life without discovering him. This is kind of like, it's like you've got the guy at a party that you're like, ugh, I'm not going to talk to him because he's a nobody. A closed mind stumbles over the blessings of life without discovering him. Oops, I missed that opportunity.